Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy D4 Thinking Right out here in the lab, and we're starting a new book, The Mysteries of ISIS, aka Aset, to those in the know. But we're gonna go through another book. This is the third book in 3 months, so we averaging a book a month. For some of y'all who follow me, I appreciate you. Some of y'all ain't interested. Whatever it is, it is. But let's go. I got a nice one for you today. We about to start on a new book. That's right. Right is them 25 rules to live by. Storytelling story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You well on through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical. But if you know how to answer it for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. Right thinkers, let's go with my girl, Mysteries of my yacht. This is all for the purpose of our ancient Egyptian philosophy of self realization. You got to come to the realization of who you are. This is the introduction to the book I just got finished going over. What part I had? Part one, okay. Origins of African Religions, part one. Just got finished giving you information from that book. I'm working from that book too, but I'm working with this one now. This is what we're going. Starting out with and ask the question. Introduction to the history of spirituality of ancient Egypt. The path of wisdom to immortality and enlightenment. You hear me? I'm going to give you a brief history of Shita Netta, aka Right Thinking Philosophy. When they say Shita Netta, I'm going to say Right Thinking Philosophy. So you're going to hear Right Thinking Philosophy in the name of Shita Netta. That's where I got it from. I just put my twist on it. Again, it's Shita Netta. All right, let's go. Early beginnings. The first religion known to man. Ancient Egypt was the first and the most ancient civilization to create a religious system. Again, ancient Egypt or Kemet was the first and the most ancient civilization to create a religious system that what? That was complete. Not fragmented, no, complete. With all three stages of religion, that what makes religion religion. I'm gonna break that down for you right quick also. I've been doing that forever. But as well as an advanced spiritual philosophy of righteousness, we call that, ready? Maya philosophy. That also had secular dimensions. Several temples systems were developed in Kemet. They were all related, interchangeable. The pre-Judaic Islam religions that the later Jewish and the Muslim religions drew from in order to create their religions completely developed out of these. And ironically, enough only to what later be repudiated by the source of from whence they originated. The Christians, I swear to God, they didn't steal the Haru story. Ridiculous. In any case, in anywho, as they say, the Great Sphinx, this thing right here, the first monument, okay? And the question was, well, how old is the Sphinx? How old is the Sphinx? We're going to get to that. It says here, in any case, the Great Sphinx remains to this day, right now, the oldest known religious monument originated, okay, in history that denotes what? Higher culture and civilization as well. What you mean? The body of the Sphinx represents the beastly nature of man. And the reason why it's in the lion beastly form, because at that time, as above, so below, they was matching what they saw in the sky on earth, heaven on earth, so to speak. They did it with the Sphinx, they did it with the pyramid. All over this world, everybody was doing the same thing, mimicking what they saw in the sky. Hence, as above, so below, philosophically. But the whole civilization, this was done back in ancient Egypt. And Nubia produced the oldest religious system, and their contact with the rest of the world led to the proliferation of advanced religion and spiritual philosophy. People who were practicing simple animism, shamanism, where you had the one guy, he get all hopped up, he go into the forest, he have his meditation, he have his dream state, he come back and share it with the group. That's how they did it before. And all this is nature-based, not a problem. Religions, and they call it witchcraft, were elevated to the level of what? Not only understanding the nature of the supreme being, aka God, Neteru, we call them, the absolute, the all, but also attaining what we know to be salvation from the miseries of what? Human life, through the effective discovery of that transcendental being that resides in us, not as an untouchable, aloof spirit that sits up high and looks down low, but as the very essence of all that exists. God is in his creation. The Netereism religion goes back to 10,000 BCE. And if you're going to build this monument, you have to have studied to come up with this conclusion to put it together on paper. So we talking about 10,000 plus years before they had the blueprint laid this out. Feel me? So from 10,000 BCE to 2001 ACE, the Sphinx standing tall. A long history of African consent. Africa was really called Akibalan, okay? Egypt was really called either Tamari or Kemet. Let me break that down for you right quick. And for a long period, spanning over, you ready? 10,000 years. And during this 10,000 years, down to 3,000, there is no speaking, no mention of white people. So, again, we go back 10,000 years. The Neterean religion served the society of ancient Kemet. Ancient Kemet. It is hard to comprehend the vastness of time between the 10,000 he's showing you, then as encompassed by the Egyptian culture. For thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we lived in harmony with nature and amongst ourselves before the invasion and infiltration of other racial groups, starting with the Greeks, the Persians, and the Assyrians. But we had a religion and a philosophy, yet the evidence is there to be seen by all. Watch this. receipts. We got the proof. We ain't just blowing smoke. Just said believe what we tell you. No, we got evidence. Watch this. It has been collected and presented in the book we got called African Origins. That's what I've been studying from, reading from right here. Okay? Information that you can have obtained. I'm not doing nothing special. It's private, public information. All right, here we go. But because I'm a student, I study. This is what I'm studying. I want to let you know. And watch this. The African civilizations, yet the evidence is there to be seen by all, been collected by the presenter in the book African Origins of Civilization, Religion and Yoga Philosophy. That volume will serve as a historical record keeper for Netherlandian religion and as a record of its legacy to all humanity to see. It serves as the basis or the foundation for the work that contained in all other books in this series. It's 3 of them. They have been created to elucidate, break down, and explain on the teachings and the traditions as well as the disciplines of the very Netherlandian religious traditions. We've been worshiping God and dealing with God for a long time from all my Christian hate-based people. And the Book of African Origins of Civilization, Religion and Yoga Philosophy. And there is other volumes of the specific tradition, detail, and philosophies and the disciplines that should be practiced by those who want to follow the path of him and him that. Okay? To the practitioners of the what we call Shita Netta, aka right thinking philosophy, and the builders of the Netherlandian faith worldwide. I want worldwide right thinkers. All right, that's the concept. And right here, now, this is the continent of Africa. This is us. You got 8 spots. Well, I'm gonna break down. They all had different philosophical concepts, but the same philosophical concept. If you understand what I'm saying, I'll try to break this down. All right. It says here, the question, where was Shita Netta practiced in ancient times? That's the 8 areas I just showed you from Africa from top to bottom. I'm going to break it down on the side. I got the areas. And these is God and goddesses that I know all of them. You may not know them, but I'm going to break it down. Give you one little quick break incident for them as we go. Okay? Don't have time to do each one. But these are God and goddesses that some of us are familiar with, but they're all for a purpose and a reason. I just showed you the map. Below to the left, you got a map of North Africa showing the location of the land of what we call Timeri or Kemet. In Africa, it was called Al-Kibalan before then, Eden. Also known as ancient Egypt. And south of it is located the land which in modern times is called Sudan. Okay, but all that is broken down. Northeast corner is where Egypt is. Then you got the Nile River that runs from the top all the way down through Africa. And above, I showed you the land of ancient Egypt, the Nile Valley. The cities is 8 of them. Yep. No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 of them, excuse me. But these are the cities wherein your major theologies, the philosophical concepts of the Netherlandian religion developed were first, Sais, S-A-I-S. They had the temple in respect of Neat. I'm going to introduce y'all to her in a minute. That's my girl, one of my favorites. She's the goddess that her sign is the shield, bow, and arrow. And then the Greeks took her concept. They came in with Athena. She was born fully geared up, armor, and her weapons. Okay, that's the concept. They got that idea from Neith. All right, but Neith, y'all know about her. I'll break it down to you in a minute. All right, but B, Anu, that's the first place. They called it Heliopolis. They had the temple for Ra. They tell the story of the Ra Osirian myth. That's where that comes from. Then you got C, Menifer. Okay, that's or Hecapata. That's Memphis. Okay, temple in Ptah. They arrested the god Ptah, Amun Ra Ptah. And you got the pyramids of Saqqara, the pyramid text. built by my man Imhotep in the Pharaoh Doja. E. Aket. This is the first pharaoh, Atum, Akhenaten, the city of Akhenaten, the temple of Atum. He changed all the gods to one god, Atum. They was pissed with him. They called him the heretic. He took everybody's job. He stopped all the money. He killed the hustle, so to speak, for the priest and the high priest. They didn't like that. So when he died out, they killed all his stuff out there. Man, get this guy out of here. They was Tutankhamun's father. All right, but he wasn't the one single God concept. That's where he got Moses from him, Akhenaten. All right, here you go. F. Abdu. That's a temple for Asar. Okay, that's when the body flowed down when his brother put him in the coffin, sealed up, sent him down the Nile River. He ended up down in Abydos. All right. The temple of Dendra, where they got the horoscope on the ceiling, that was the temple for Het Haru. That's the female version of Haru. Our spirit, the female version of the spirit, that's the house of Haru. The spirit of Haru is in the house, okay, of her. She represents the female aspect. Waset, Thebes, the temple for Amun. The Trinity God, Amun, Ra, Ptah. In each one of them towns, they had a different God that they followed, but they all was connected together in the action I gave that lesson to. All right, here we go. They all work together like a family. Then you got the temple of Dendra, did that one. Waset Thebes did the Amun. Then you got I, that's Etfu. That's the temple for Haru. Okay, you hear all these had temples dedicated to them. Okay, that's what they're showing you. And every one of them had their town that they with respect to that. The temple of Edfu for temple for Haru. And the last one, Philae, that's the temple. That's the last one that's standing. Her temple, Aset, the temple Aset, and Philae was the last temple standing. And they closed them all up. Hers was the last one to go down. So she's the last woman standing. And the cities wherein the theology of the Trinity of Asar, Aset, and Haru was developed where? In Anu, the first place. Abydos, where the body was found. Philae, where the last stronghold for Aset's temple. Edfu, temple of Haru. Dandra and Edfu were the last two before Aset went down. But those are all monuments and temples that they still worship, Haru and Het Haru. Okay? Now, let's go. We're moving right along. Let's talk about the term Kemet. Yeah, I got one more. Get this. This will be it. The term Kemet and the origins of our ancient Egyptians. Ancient origins. The ancient Egyptians recorded that they were originally a colony of Ethiopians. The only colony of just of people on Africa that wasn't colonized by the white man. They could fight. They called the Bow people. You don't want to mess with them. They were strong in their spot. And from the south, who came to the north and east part of Africa, the term Ethiopian, Nubian, and Cushite all relate to the same people who lived south of Egypt in modern times. The land which was once known as Nubia, land of gold, is currently known as Sudan, and the land even further south to the east toward the coast of East Africa is referred to as Ethiopia. I showed you the map before they showed you. But recent research has shown that the modern Nubian word Kaji, Kashi, it means fertile land, dark, gray, mud, silk, or black land. And since the sound of this word is close to the ancient Egyptian name Kish or Cush, referring to again the land south of Egypt, and it is believed that the same Cush also meant the land of dark silk, black, or the black land. Okay? So, and in which means an, which means of the. So Sudan means of the blacks. In the modern Nubian language, Mugud means black. Also, Muga, no, Nuger, Nuger, Negur, or Nbum, Nubi. All of it means black as well. All of these indicates that the word Kush, Nubia, and Sudan all mean the same thing, black. The black land and or the land of the blacks. When I was studying mythology, Greek mythology, they called y'all Egyptians because they said they had burnt face. That's what they explained. The Egyptian mean burnt face. We breaking it down. We know what to mean black, but to the foreigners, it means burnt face. Okay, as well as we see what happened, as well as we see the difference between the term Cush and the term Cam or Kemet, Qamit, or the K. The K and the Q pretty much sound alike. And the name of ancient Egypt and ancient Egypt language relate more to the same meaning but different geographical locations. All right. As we've been shown or seen, the Ethiopian, Nubia, Kush, and Sudan all refer to black land and or the land of the blacks. In the same manner, we found that the name of Egypt, which was used by the ancient Egyptians, also means black land or dark skin, blackface, burnt skin, and or the land of the blacks, the burnt skinned people. The hieroglyphs below will reveal the ancient Egyptian meaning of the word related to blacks, the name of their land. It is clear that the meaning of the word Kemet, Qamit, is equivalent to the word Cush as far as they relate to what black land or people, and that they also refer to a differentiation in geographical location. In essence, Cush is the land, black land of the south. Kemet is the black land of the north, north, south, up, lower. Okay? Both terms denote the primary quality that defines the African black or blackness, referring to the land and its people. The quality of the blackness and the consonant sound of the word K or the Q, as well as the reference to the land, are all aspects of communality between the ancient Cushites and the Commission's terms. They knew who they was. They had the distinction between both. They understood. Kemet, Qamit, that's ancient Egypt. Kemet, Qamit, means blackness or black. Kemet, literature. In ancient Egypt scriptures, Camille, that's the variant of ancient Egyptian people of the black land. No matter how you put it, they were black. I said I was going to stop. I want to take this quick rundown through the time period, okay? The dynastic period, called it. So the question is, when was Netarian religion practiced? From 65 BCE, 65,000 BCE, the Paleolithic, or Paleolithic, Nikon, Heracropolis. That's the Neanderthal people before then. So in that 10,000 BCE, the Neolithic period started. That's when we started keeping records, documentation. Okay? So we call that the pre-dynastic period, which started around 10,500 BCE and lasted to around 7,000 BCE. That's when the creation of the Great Sphinx. And modern archaeological accepted the dates of the Sphinx, and the Sphinx name means Harimaket or Haru on the horizon. This means that the king is one with the spirit. Ra is an enlightened person. Listen, possessing an animal aspect, which at that time was the lion. And you know anything about the zodiac? That's the Leo. And the zodiac constellation was in the air at that time. They ran the constellation back and took it back down to 10,500 BCE, the year of Leo, the lion in the zodiac sign. And it illuminated intellect. The Anuian theory, got that book right there, Theology, where Ra, serpent power, and spirituality was introduced and understood way back then. Now, from 10,000 BCE to 5,000 BCE, we had the sky god, the realm of what they call light, day. the netter, the androgynous, the all-encompassing, the absolute, the nameless, the formless, being later identified with who we call WRIGHT, that's the Sphinx. From 7000 BCE, the Kemetic myth and theology presented in architecture, in the way they built and how they did things, using the winter and summer solstice to build their buildings so that at one time of year, the equinox was shining like the building up. That's ingenious. And then you got the Old Kingdom. It started 55 BCE to 600 ACE. Pay attention. From 55 BCE to 600 ACE. That's how long the Kemetic Aset temple was the last one to close. That's how long they've been in existence. Okay? Pay attention. Listen to the timeline. Pay attention. I'm about to take you somewhere. Pay attention. At 55 BCE to 600, we had the Amun, Ra, Ptah, Horus, Amenet, Ra, Setmet, the male and female trinity. Complementary opposites. Okay? Ra had a female, Amun had a female, and Ptah had a female. Okay. That was 5000 BCE. 55 BCE, we had the Memphite theology. Their god was Ptah. We had the Hermopolitan theology. That was Tahuti with the god there. And we had the Asarian resurrection theology. That's Asar. Then you had 5000 BCE. All this happened during the same time. You got the goddess principle, the female theology, which is Isis, Hathor, Net. Told you about her. I'm about to introduce her to you. Mut, Setmet, and Buto. These are all female goddesses from ancient times, 5,000 years ago. 5000 BCE, that's dynasty number 1, began the dynastic period. The unification of what they considered Upper and Lower Egypt became one. In 5000 BCE, we have the 5th dynastic period. So we had 4 periods before we got to 5000. From 5005, we had 4 different dynastic periods. The 5th dynasty, the pyramid text, my boys, the Egyptian book of coming forth by day, the 42 confessions of Mayat, and the codification of the pre-dynastic theologies. Pre-dynastic period started at 10,000 BCE and went to 5,500 BCE. Coming forth by day, they called the Book of Dead. At 4241 BCE, started the pharaonic royal calendar. Based on the solstice system, star Sirius was in use. Sirius, the star, the lightest star in the sky. In the Middle Kingdom, this is when the invasion started. This is when the white man get involved. From 3200 BCE to 3000 BCE, wisdom texts, precepts of Ptahhotep, instructions, and etc. More leaders, more things. From there, from 3000 to 2040 BCE to 1700 BCE. At this time, from 3000 on back, this is when we have the what? Invasion from the Greeks, the Syrians, Roman Catholics, everybody just started ripping us a new one. But we already had our long line of history without no involvement. From 3000 on, watch how hectic it gets. From 2040 to 1786 BCE, we got what they call the coffin text. That's the coming forth by day Book of the Dead that they found in all tomb robbers. At that time, they called it excavation, so they're getting all this information from the tombs. From 1800 BCE, the Theban theology, which is led by Amun, Ra, Mut, and Khonsu, they had their run. That was the 1800s. And so the New Kingdom period started from 1570 and went down to 657 BCE, and it went down to 400 ACE, where the autonomous, non-dualist period dynastic philosophy was redefined by Akhenaten at 1353, the heretic king, where he made the one god. And then at 712 to 657, the Nubian dynasty was running Egypt. Okay, still black, but still Nubians. Moving on. But from 657 BCE to 450 ACE, this is the last period of our ancient Egyptian culture knowledge, which saw several invasions by foreigners from Asia Minor, Assyrians, Persians, and the Europeans, the Greeks, and the Romans, and finally the closing of the last temples, a murdering of the priests and the priestesses that forced them conversion to the foreign religions, and the destruction of the last Nazarene holy site by Christians and Muslims alike. I don't like neither one of them. Okay, the teachings went dormant, and at this time until what 20th century when we brought it back. I went and got the secrets from the pyramids. That's why I teach the concept. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Let me just get started. Right thinkers in closing. May you all live to be 100. I'm having fun right now. I hope you are too. And may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I know that my right thinkers who started to learn the mysteries of ISIS have passed away. Good information. I'll be right back. Appreciate you.